The ocean holds secrets worth more than some nations' entire treasuries. For centuries, the resting place of the San Jose Galleon was one of the most coveted and elusive maritime mysteries on Earth. More than just a ship, she was a floating vault, packed with riches destined for the Spanish crown. Her sinking wasn't just a disaster. It was an economic earthquake, a strategic blow, and the beginning of an epic, generations-long hunt. It was the spring of 1708, and Europe was embroiled in the War of the Spanish Succession. Spain, weakened and desperate for funds, relied heavily on the silver and gold flowing from its South American colonies. The San Jose, a magnificent three-masted galleon, was the jewel of the tierra-firm fleet, laden with the equivalent of billions of dollars in today's currency. Her holds were crammed with chests of emeralds, gold coins, silver ingots, and precious artifacts, all collected from the mines and treasuries of the New World. This wasn't mere cargo. It was the lifeblood of an empire, meant to finance a war and secure Spain's dwindling global power. Her safe arrival was paramount. On June 8, 1708, the San Jose, along with a convoy of other Spanish ships, was sailing north off the coast of Cartagena, present-day Colombia. The waters were warm, the skies clear, but a storm was brewing, not in the weather, but on the horizon. A British squadron, led by Commodore Charles Wager, was closing in. The British knew the value of the fleet. They weren't just seeking a military victory. They were after the treasure. The ensuing engagement, known as Wager's Action, would become one of the most infamous naval battles in colonial history, not for its grand strategy, but for its devastating, instantaneous end. As the sun began to dip, casting long shadows across the Caribbean, the British warship expedition engaged the San Jose. Cannon fire ripped through the air, the roar echoing across the water. The San Jose, a formidable vessel, fought back valiantly, but she was outgunned and perhaps truly cursed. Around 7:30 p.m., disaster struck. A British cannonball, or perhaps an accidental internal explosion, ignited the San Jose's powder magazine. The blast was catastrophic. Witnesses described a pillar of fire erupting from the ship, tearing it apart in an instant. The sound, they said, was deafening. The San Jose, with her 600-strong crew and all her priceless cargo, vanished beneath the waves in less than an hour. Only a handful of survivors, estimated to be around 11 or so, managed to escape the inferno and the churning waters. The vast majority, along with the treasure, were swallowed by the deep. For over 300 years, the San Jose remained a ghost, a legend whispered among treasure hunters and historians. The exact location was unknown, shrouded in secrecy and the vastness of the ocean. Many tried to find her, fueled by the allure of a fortune beyond imagination, but the Caribbean held its secrets close. The value of the San Jose's cargo today is almost incalculable. Estimates range from $1 billion to $17 billion US, depending on how the artifacts are valued. It's not just the monetary worth, it's the historical and cultural significance, a snapshot of an empire at its peak, frozen in time. Then, in 2015, the Colombian government made a stunning announcement. They had found the San Jose. The discovery was made by a team of international experts, including the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, using advanced autonomous underwater vehicles. The location was kept secret, a closely guarded national secret, primarily to protect the site from looters. But images released by the Colombian government showed an incredible sight. Cannons perfectly preserved, porcelain intact, and thousands of gold coins scattered across the seabed. The discovery ignited a fierce legal and ethical debate. Who owned the treasure? Spain claimed it as a state-owned vessel. Colombia declared it national heritage. Indigenous groups whose ancestors mined the gold and silver also laid claim. The stakes were monumental, not just in wealth, but in cultural ownership. Under international maritime law, wrecks are often considered the property of the country whose flag they sailed under. However, the San Jose lies in Colombian territorial waters, adding a layer of complexity. The concept of cultural heritage versus salvage rights became a central point of contention. For years, a U.S.-based salvage company, Sea Search Armada, also claimed rights to the wreck. They asserted they had found the general area of the San Jose in the 1980 and shared coordinates with Colombia under an agreement that would grant them a share of any recovery. Colombia, however, disputes this claim, citing national sovereignty. The ethical implications are profound. Is it right to disturb a watery grave where hundreds of souls perished? Or is it a duty to recover and preserve an unparalleled historical archive, a time capsule of an era for future generations? These questions have no easy answers. In 2024, the Colombian government announced plans to extract some of the treasure from the San Jose. They aim to use a remotely operated vehicle and eventually bring some items to the surface for conservation and study, with a museum dedicated to the Galleon in mind. The recovery process will be incredibly complex and expensive. The wreck lies at a depth of over 600 meters, or nearly 2,000 feet, in an environment of immense pressure and perpetual darkness. Specialized equipment and years of delicate work will be required. Imagine the sheer scale of the operation. Bringing up fragile artifacts that have rested undisturbed for centuries, carefully cleaning and stabilizing them before they can even be publicly displayed. Each piece will tell a story, a silent witness to a bygone age. The San Jose isn't just a shipwreck, it's a symbol. A symbol of colonial power, of trade routes that shaped the world, of naval warfare, and of the immense, often tragic, cost of empire. It's a reminder of humanity's ceaseless quest for wealth and the ocean's unforgiving embrace. As the world watches, the saga of the San Jose continues to unfold. Will the treasures finally see the light of day? Will the legal disputes ever be fully resolved? And what new secrets will this billion-dollar shipwreck reveal about our past and ourselves? The story of the San Jose reminds us that beneath the waves, history isn't just written in books. It's preserved in incredible, heartbreaking detail, waiting for its moment to resurface. What other lost treasures do you think the ocean still hides? Let me know in the comments below.